Hey everyone, hope you're having a good Friday. It is Friday, December 23rd, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. We've got the holidays coming up. Stock markets are closed the next 2 Mondays in a row for both Christmas and then the New Year. So in this video, we're going to look at what's the broader market doing, what's the dollar doing, and what I need to see if I'm going to be bullish Bitcoin in early 2023. Let's just say Q1 2023, what I have to see develop. And we'll go through that one by one. I put out a little Twitter post which pretty much summarized it, but we'll go a little bit more in depth here in this video. And then we'll check in on some of the altcoins, trying to get some bounces as well. Hope you're all having a great day. It's staying warm out there. It is cold. It might be the coldest I've ever experienced it in 7 years here in Western North Carolina with this, what do they call it? Polar vortex. Currently 11 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 21 degrees below freezing. Birds seem all right, but I'm giving them extra food. All right, so we've got the NASDAQ daily downtrend, and the fear lows are back in play. When I say fear lows, I mean the lowest level we've seen in the year. If fear lows break in the broader market, no interest in Bitcoin and crypto, and it's going to take a while. Just imagine sentiment. Sentiment's key. So just imagine sentiment, if we hit new fear lows, what it's going to be related to crypto. It's going to be bearish. People are going to be hesitant to go long. So we have to see confidence start to get established in the broader market. We have to have, there's going to be a ton of people that miss the bottom in the broader market whenever it's hit. Whether it's here or whether it's 20% lower, a ton of people are going to miss it. And so what we have to see happen is a shift in the broader market that gives the bulls confidence, and then everybody that's on the sidelines that missed it says, oh man, I missed the bull move. Where else can I put my money to try and play catch up? And if Bitcoin is acting as a laggard at that point, then we would expect crypto to follow a bit. Bitcoin could lead, I suppose, but I don't think that's the most likely scenario. But what we need to see, check mark number one. S&P 500 2-week time frame. The only way that we're going to have confidence, bigger picture in Q1 of 2023 is if this chart confirms an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which means we hold the fear low and we break the high of the CPI reaction. We know everything changed a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, when CPI and FOMC dumps the price. Everything changed from that point just in terms of bears regaining their confidence and their vigor. Is that the right word? Vigor, maybe? So we've got a higher low trying to form here. So into the start of 2023, if we break to a higher high, it will be the first 2-week uptrend since the all-time highs. We would be at that point as close to the all-time high of 16.5% as we would be from the fear low. 16%. So essentially, if we confirm this trend change, we will be closer to all-time highs than the fear low. That will be a big confidence boost to me that the bottom may be in. And then the 4-month time frame would be setting a higher low off EMA 12. And again, the longer term time frame, 4-month chart, there's no major red flags at this point with the pullback the S&P 500 is seeing. So that's what I'm watching as my most important time frame for the stock market in Q1 2023. So we need the broader market to do something for the bulls. We need the dollar. Again, we know the dollar most likely scenario is a monthly higher low. It's just a question of when are we going to form it? The bears have had full control with daily EMA 12 resistance for over a month, and we've just been trading sideways for a week and a half. Nothing's changing with the dollar. If the dollar gets a bounce going on the monthly time frame, we know historically, recently, we've had an inverse correlation with the dollar. That correlation has faded significantly since the CPI reaction 2 weeks ago. But if we see the dollar bounce, we have to see crypto and stocks ignore it. Because if the dollar bounces, sets a monthly higher low and bounces, and stocks and crypto start going inverse tick for tick with the dollar, that's a big red flag because that's going to add a good bit of downward pressure. So we need to see, check mark number 2, we need to see Bitcoin and stocks ignore the dollar bouncing the next time that it does. And then big picture, we want to see the dollar confirm a monthly downtrend. Bounce, set the higher low, fail resistance, and then confirm the first monthly downtrend in a couple of years. That's less important to me than Bitcoin ignoring a dollar bounce. Bitcoin has to confirm the first weekly uptrend that we've seen in over 8 months, which means we have to hold the fear low of 15.4 and break the high of the recent bounce of 18.4 to confirm that first weekly uptrend. We know that after that, we're just going to zoom out and scout a monthly lower high. So it's going to be a long road ahead, one time frame at a time. But again, if we can look at a chart and say, this is the first time this has happened in 8 months, 12 months, 16 months, whatever the long-term period is, we pay attention to that happening because it tells us a shift is taking place. If we drop to a new fear low, it's back to square one. And it's back to bulls not really having any interest. Big picture, a TheChartGuys member asked today, do we think the crypto space is going to go parabolic again and see significant gains? I think it's going to be a long time. I think that, in 2017, 2018, we topped out and pulled back massively, 85% plus, and then we ran again, and things did get insane again. But we have to keep in mind that the broader market was all bull 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, and the macro environment was still very favorable for bulls. What we're seeing this year, 2022, is essentially the euphoria bubble popping for global markets. It's not just a small little niche crypto bubble within a macro bull environment. It's a macro euphoria bubble. And again, that word bubble triggers a lot of things for different people. I just mean euphoria popped. We were at max euphoria. After max euphoria comes significant pullbacks. We're seeing that with Amazon down 65%, Tesla down 65%. These names, these big names down massively from their highs. And so we have to keep in mind that, I've never experienced this with my 12 years of trading, but we can have years and years and years of range-bound markets. Look at the Tesla daily chart. What is the most not daily chart, 4-month time frame or 6-month, 4-month, whatever. What's the most likely scenario here? Is Tesla going to turn around and go 300% to a new all-time high? Or is Tesla likely to trade range-bound for years? We're going to find a 4-month high or low at some point. We're going to bounce and form a 4-month lower high, then maybe another 4-month high or low, depending on the retracement. Next thing you know, an entire year has gone by, and we're just trading sideways, and that can last a year or two. And there's a lot of names that look like this. Amazon, we can remain range-bound for a very long time within this range on Amazon. So we just have to prepare for that to be a possibility. Bitcoin, again, all this being said, if you asked me at the bottom of 2018 or 2019, whenever we bottomed, do you think we're going to see another euphoria run? I would have said no. So full disclosure, I would have definitely said the same thing I'm saying now, and I would have been wrong back then. Fortunately, I didn't keep that bias, so I was allowed to profit from the bull move that did take place. But again, I would not be surprised in the slightest if this Bitcoin 4-month time frame eventually finds a bottom, bounces into a lower high, pulls back into a higher low, and next thing you know, we're talking 2024, 2025. So I'm open to that possibility. Something, and it's just a guess, but again, to see these kinds of ranges and knowing how much space is within these ranges, it's going to be a while, in my opinion. Dominance chart is showing us that Bitcoin is stronger than altcoins significantly over the last few weeks in both directions. Bitcoin went up more significantly, the alts dropped more significantly, and that led to a multiple week move on the dominance chart. So bigger picture, let's go to just a long-term downtrend. We have to see a long-term trend change here. 485 is a key level for me. If that were to break, we could say this is the most significant dominance that we've seen in multiple years, year and a half plus. So that would stand out to us. Ethereum's a little bit stronger than Bitcoin short term. We did confirm a 12-hour uptrend already. And at this point in time, if you're trading crypto, because things are so slow right now, we've got liquidity extremely low. We've got volume extremely low. We've got YouTube views extremely low. Everything is at a standstill. It's like the dead of winter when things are just silent and still. And in my opinion, you should be focusing at this point, the 12-hour time frame is probably the lowest time frame that I'd be looking at in the crypto space because volatility is so low. I mean, the amount of times in the last few days that I've looked at this list and everything's been plus or minus less than 1%, I can't remember the last number of times that has happened. I can't remember the last time that has happened. ETH BTC, this 3-day equilibrium is still absolutely beautiful. We're going to break this pattern, excuse me, within the first 2 weeks of 2023, in my opinion, and most likely scenario, and it's going to have significant long-term implications into whether Bitcoin or Ethereum is the better bull or the better bear. TradingView is not helping me draw good lines today, but it's just tightening up. This is the tightest that we've gotten here. I mean, this is somewhat comparable, but we don't usually get this tight. This is a good one. And when this break took place, we then had significant volatility. So we're going to look for the break in this ETH BTC chart to give us a good amount of information. It's going to tell us whether we should be looking at Ethereum or Bitcoin bull, and it's going to indicate volatility, in my opinion. And we know eventually volatility will return to crypto, but for now it's just a snooze fest, and we can anticipate likely going to remain a snooze fest through the holidays as well. Binance, nice 12-hour equilibrium tightening up as we are battling EMA 12 resistance, so rejected, higher low, double top, higher low, lower high, getting really tight here. But if you're a Binance bull, you've got to see BNB BTC shape up a daily higher low here and confirm a daily uptrend. Because if Binance USDT breaks bull and Binance BTC does not, we know that's a red flag for bulls. Mana is standing out today for the first time in a long time. So Mana is a lead bull, daily bounce finally underway. We had a daily stair step with a lower high every single day for the last 12 days in a row. That's now broken. So some shorts covering. We're hitting daily EMA 12. 4-hour RSI did get right up to overbought conditions. Bears are watching for a bearish entry once bulls use up all their momentum here. 15 minutes going to be looking for a higher low. And I would be watching for an aggressive bear is looking for a 15-minute lower high to short next time we bounce with a stop over the high and hoping that we reject from daily EMA 12 resistance. This is just the scales tilting. I don't know if there was any news with Mana. Let me know if there was, but I'm assuming it's just everybody bearish, everybody's on one side of the boat, and then we see the scales tilt in a bit of rebalancing. So keeping an eye on Sand to see if it follows. We can see Sand's daily bounces underway, but it's nowhere near as strong. And again, anticipating it's going to probably be short-lived just because we're in clear daily downtrends and daily lower highs are the most likely scenario. Here's Mana BTC, also in a daily stair-step drop for the last 12 days in a row, breaking that pattern. So I don't think it's any kind of longer-term bottom. It could develop into one, but we need a daily uptrend at a bare minimum. And so aggressive bears are going to be watching for potential top fish attempts on this current bounce. Other than that, not really seeing any other individual alt names stand out too significantly. I am watching the Link weekly double bottom, trying to form a double bottom down at 552 and 567. Bulls have to break the high of this weekly candle after we close here. We've got to break the high of the weekly candle next week for that higher low to be set and for the equilibrium to continue tightening up. But the fact that we faded all the way back to support definitely favors the bears more than the bulls within this tightening range currently. Checking other lead bulls, ADA. Daily bounce underway as well. So it looks like our weakest names getting a little bit of a bounce, perhaps a little bit of short covering. And, our weakest stocks are getting that bounce as well. We've got MARA, which has been absolutely smashed. Crypto miner started to see a little relative strength yesterday. Daily bounce underway. US cannabis has been absolutely smashed. It's getting its daily bounce underway. So essentially, the weakest names in markets over the last 2 weeks are all seeing a little bit of a short-term daily bounce right now. And so again, in my opinion, it's just the scales just doing a little bit of balancing, some shorts having to cover, and we will be scouting daily lower highs across the board on all of these names over the next couple of days. That's all I got to say. Checking in on the YouTube chat and checking in on the TradingView chat as well. Started streaming to TradingView these days. Pretty solid community on TradingView. So on YouTube, Merry Christmas, Lori. Good afternoon, Andre. Justin, I would suggest moving to Asheville, but it's BYOJ. Bring your own job unless you are a server or in the hotel industry. Hey, David. Appreciate that a lot. Merry Christmas to you as well. Hit that like button, please. We're dwindling, man. 32 likes. It's rough out there. It is also Friday before the weekend, but it's brutal. Litecoin. So what I care most about is LTC, BTC. Bigger picture. We are looking for a weekly higher low. Bulls must keep this uptrend. The biggest red flag that Litecoin can see in the short term is setting a weekly higher low and then confirming a weekly downtrend. We've been setting weekly higher lows ever since this bigger picture shift took place, and we have to keep that happening. If you lose the weekly higher lows, Litecoin is going to fade back to being a lead bear. So scouting a weekly higher low in the short term, we need to see a daily trend change shape up to the bulls. And then LTC USD. Also trying to shape up a weekly higher low. Not nearly as strong looking here. And it actually looks a bit like a rising wedge to my eye. Let's see if that's the case. Nah, more of a channel. So we are scouting weekly higher lows in both pairings of Litecoin, but again, just got to be real cautious that they do not result in confirming weekly downtrends. That would be a major red flag for bulls. Merry Christmas from Texas. ASTR USDT. It's above, good entries and exits. So we got a tightening weekly range here. Another name that's an equilibrium. So I'm viewing this as a low, high, higher low, lower high, and trying for another higher low for a continued tightening range. So if I'm looking for a weekly higher low, I know I need a daily trend change for it to shape up. If I've already missed a daily bounce and I want a bullish entry, I'm patiently waiting for daily consolidation. And the thesis would be, this is either the weekly higher low or I am wrong, which means on consolidation, I look for an entry or two scale-ins perhaps. I put my stop under 3.7 because if 3.7 breaks, then I am wrong. It's not a weekly higher low being set. And if 3.7 holds and we confirm the daily uptrend, I am right. And the weekly higher low has been set. For me personally, this name doesn't have enough volume for me to be interested in it, but it is a nice tightening weekly range. Just trying to work on, everybody's trying to set weekly higher lows. Bitcoin, Litecoin, ASTR, they're all trying to close near the high of their weekly candle this week and then break it bull next week first thing. So we can say weekly higher lows are set, and that will be a step towards trying for the longer term shift, which will still need a lot of work, but it will at least be step one. Inverse head and shoulders. I see an equilibrium. This is the 12-hour time frame, but for me, it's an equilibrium. Near. So near daily bounce underway. Again, another weak name. If you want to just keep it simple, if daily EMA 12 is resistance, the bears have full control. It just makes analysis so simple. I don't have to do anything. So at this point, and we can also measure retracement size. And the measurement would be from 1766 down to the low. And again, that daily EMA 12 pretty much aligning with that 382 retracement, keeping the bear flag alive as long as that daily EMA 12 is resistance. Again, we have to just prepare for both scenarios. We have to prepare that the S&P 500 sets a 2-week higher low and heads back to recent highs, which at the moment is less likely because the bulls are not proving much this week. And we also have to prepare that we fade back to fear lows. And if that happens, Bitcoin is definitely going to be testing 15.5 and potentially breaking it and heading down to fresh lows as well. That's absolutely on the table for the first month of 2023. So we know the burden is on the bulls to prove to us that this time it's different. And they have to do so on the weekly, longer term time frames. What do I think of Tesla 52-week low? I put out a video specifically about Tesla yesterday. It's on our YouTube channel. Traded Tesla a bunch today in both directions. Had a nice 15-minute equilibrium. I actually still have a long... Do I? Did I sell it? I do still have a small long position. Giving the bulls a chance. They're really struggling at hourly EMA 12. If you want to keep it simple, when's the last time Tesla confirmed an hourly uptrend? It's been weeks. Confirming an hourly uptrend will be the first indication that a daily bounce is underway. Bears are definitely tiring out down here, but the bulls have not proven anything this entire week. The only thing bulls are proving today is a lack of bear follow-through, breaking the low of yesterday first thing this morning. AXS USDT. I find that when people point out patterns, I'm always on a longer term time frame. If someone says, oh, it looks like a 4-hour inverse head and shoulders, I always zoom out. I would say if I were looking for one, it already confirmed for me. It would have been left shoulder, head, right neckline, right shoulder, and that was the bull break when we cleared 701 and 715. And so we don't have much follow through, but bulls are still keeping the 4-hour uptrend in their favor to try and see follow through. But we know with a bull break that lacks follow through, we have to be cautious of a rising wedge. So I'd be watching something like this. Again, even if I'm bullish, I always want to lay out what would be a bear scenario. Put on my bear glasses, look at it from the other direction, and say, well, if this were to happen, I'd be pleased as a bear. So I need to be cautious of this if I am a bull. Hearing a lot about Lori's pregame show. I didn't see it, but sounds like a good one. So Link is trying to set the weekly higher low, as I mentioned, but again, we're just sideways here. Nothing has changed on this chart in 7 days. It's just uneventful. And that's what I'm talking about, a low volume, low liquidity environment, and why we want to be on the longer term time frames, because nothing's going on. And again, if I'm trying to trade as actively here in these 7 days as I did in these 7 days or these 7 days, my opportunity is so much smaller. Imagine a pie. The pie is big here. There's nice big slices to be had. Right here, it's a tiny, tiny pie. It is not worthwhile. We have to wait for the tight ranges to break on the longer term time frames. So the bulls have to prove to us that a weekly higher low is shaping up here on Link, just like everybody else. The burden of proof is on the bulls first thing next week to break the highs of this weekly candle. Hey, Miles. That's the other thing. If Bitcoin were to stay above $10,000 through this macro bear environment, whenever it ends, that is a huge long-term win for me. To me, for Bitcoin. Meaning, if we have this kind of fear across the world global markets and Bitcoin, this made up digital numbers in cyberspace currency that's a joke and a scam, if it stays above $10,000 per coin, that is a huge statement of confidence. We were $3,000 not that long ago in a bullish macro environment. If we stay above 10,000 in a bearish macro environment, it's a huge vote of confidence to the world. We'll see. All right. Oh, I missed the rude. I got thick skin at this point. I remember I used to be bothered by stuff. When I first started making content, I used to be bothered when people said stuff, but not anymore. All right. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a great Friday. I'm going to a sauna house, do some sauna and cold plunges. Although pretty much 11 degrees, just need to step outside for a cold plunge. It's turkey time. Look at all these turkeys. They're eating all the seed. Gotta go put out more. All right. Thanks, everyone. Don't forget to do good things, especially this holiday season. A lot of people lonely this holiday season. Reach out to people. Sometimes that is as good a gift as you can give. Just a conversation.